Good evening, brothers, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's time once again for another Pirates of the Geek Vortex with me, your host, Ollamh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I think I've got everything. All right, and let me go ahead and open up the voice chat here again. We're undefinite now. There we go. Hello there, Caden.
Hello, hello.
All right, so we can pop you up, pop your picture up because you're here.
Indeed. Or, I could just turn on my cam.
Well, it doesn't matter either way. I mean, the cam thing is that's gonna shift as people enter, so, and it's up to you. We can just go with pictures for
Wait
right
a minute. Am I seeing things, or the stream have both channels on here?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Making sure I wasn't just seeing things.
But yeah, rather than just a picture up there, I figured, a picture of us up there as well as all around here. I figured, well, why not just post up the Howling into the Void picture as well?
Well, thank you. So how's your week, man?
It's been okay.
Okay is a decent start.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird. The week started off kind of all right. I mean, with like bitter cold temperatures. Like it was horrendous. I went to take the garbage out real quick Monday night, and like I got back in and I was literally just like shivering, like just like not even like, oh hey, it's cold. It's like, no, it's just like my hands could not be still.
I haven't had to leave the house all week to get the weather because we have that one lonely ass neighbor across the street. Temperature dips 1 degree and he's on the phone. He's like, "Oh my god, you gotta know the weather."
Okay. Why do I have to know the weather?
He's just lonely, but he's also one of those old disagreeable asshole types. When he first moved in, I said I would not be surprised if I walked into the man's house and found a Confederate flag hanging off the ceiling.
Oh, fun.
Well, it's like he's just that type. I can tell you right now.
Not the fun type.
I mean, that depends on your definition of fun.
Well, generally my definition is somebody who isn't like, batshit crazy.
True. I am kind of a dick. My definition of fun also includes people I can relentlessly make fun of without having to feel bad. How did I put it earlier today? Schadenfreude is my love language.
Okay. That's just a little awkward. So while it's just the two of us, let's see here. We could go over some of the news of the news of the week.
While it's just two of us and we're not going to get distracted and get into huge fights.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Well, I've of course, just about everybody these days has heard by now about the CEO of United Health.
Probably, but I can't bring it up right offhand.
He's the one that got shot in New York.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, I had heard something about that earlier.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking it was that other shooting that happened recently.
No. This is the one in New York. The CEO that just like, yeah.
Yeah, now they're trying to say it was a hired hit.
I don't know if I haven't heard that specifically, but I am kind of personally wondering if the New York Police Department is actually trying to find the guy responsible. Because number one, their person of interest was a completely different jacket. Like, they have the picture of the person captured on this at the scene. No pockets, or no pocket, at least on his right-hand side. The person of interest had pockets on both sides of the chest, had a dark backpack, but the picture that they captured at the scene has the guy with like a light gray backpack. So it's like, it's very obvious. It's like, this is not, that's not the right guy. It's like, unless he's like changing his backpacks and stuff like that, and his backpack and his jacket and stuff like that, that's not the same guy.
Well, you know, it's New York. They have the master criminals up there.
But yeah, it's so they just today said, "Oh, hey, so we found we think we found the guy's backpack in in Central Park by a carousel." This is their second time going through and looking and searching Central Park. So it's like, so you guys just missed it the first time? Were you looking for a light backpack or a dark backpack?
They were looking for a backpack in Central Park.
Yeah, it's like, that's not the smart way to do it. All right.
And hello, Rasclin.
Hello.
I like how we've all just kind of adopted the same hello.
I need to sit down and redo the cards that I made for the sample that I gave you. The one that had everybody like in a specific place.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ras had the background of the World of Warcraft tavern.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, I have to completely redo my OBS since I had to reinstall my operating system again, so I'll just have to sit down one night and completely redo that, so you can just pass me the cards when we do that.
That works.
I'm trying to find, where did I describe us earlier? In one of the groups, I posted the link in. They were like, oh, hey, so what's Pirates of the Geek Vortex? I was like, oh, it's one of the podcasts I'm on. And I said, basically, if you want to figure it out, ask yourself, what happens when you put an 80s chain-smoking cyberpunk, an 80s vampire goth, a 90s anarchist, and a Canadian in the same room?
That sounds about right.
Or as Gas Giant put it, where did they put it? 2 to 3 hours of verified shitposting in video form.
I will accept that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So yeah, with Gas Giant said, funny thing, everyone that I brought it up to didn't feel that bad for the guy. Yeah, I cannot bring myself to feel bad for him either, honestly. It's like, yeah, okay.
The moment you said CEO, all of my anything, like any mercy or compassion I have for the guy, was like, nope, we're gone.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for him.
There's like one CEO that I still have some respect for, and that's only because Dan Bridges is currently doing like the opposite of every CEO ever.
So let's. I'm gonna work on that in the background here. So, yes,
I see Rasclin has gone to creepy lighting.
Yeah, the CEO of an insurance company in particular. Yeah, it's like nobody's. I mean, other CEOs are gonna feel bad for him, but that's about it.
I mean, I don't think even other CEOs are going to feel sorry for him unless it directly affects them.
Well, I mean, feel sorry for them might be the wrong term.
Worry that it's going to be their ass next.
Yeah, that's a bit more to the point.
Accurate.
Well, of course they've valued your life as too expensive to live. You're wasting their money that you could give to them.
I have a friend at the Christian Death concert in Detroit tonight.
Fancy.
I'm sorry, repeat those words? Those didn't go together in my brain.
There's a band called Christian Death. Apparently it's not going so well tonight.
Okay.
Performance kind of sucks.
I thought you were like describing the concert's theme, and I was like, Christian Death does not track.
Well, it's not, Easter, so.
True.
So how has everybody else's week been?
It's been a week.
It's been packed. I've caught up, mostly.
I went to the doctor just to, make sure that I'm in relatively I'm not going to die tomorrow shape. Then immediately got a phone call of, hey, remember those labs we did? Yeah, they didn't run one of the standard labs, so we need to take more from you. And as we're on the phone doing that, that's when the power decided to go out because some asshole apparently did something and hit a transformer or the power line fell down on it, something. But I was without power for like good 2-3 hours.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. I remember oh god, what was it? It was Valentine's week back when I was a kid when we had a massive ice storm. And we were without power for like a week.
Was that the one that left 2 inches of ice on the ground?
Yes.
It hit us in Mattoon also.
Yeah, it was pretty massive.
I'm still wondering how you two met.
Who, me and Raz?
Yeah.
It's not that impressive. We met at a local Goth Industrial night.
I figured that was it. I was like, it's either going to be a really interesting, weird story or just going to be the most bland. We were at a bar.
It was 2000 because I remember I was rooming with Adam Blatt still that year, and you came over. Oh wait, no wait, you came over while I was living with Trey, but we probably met around 2000, even if we didn't directly talk to each other.
Yeah, it was right around. Yeah, it was 2000 because that's when I met my ex-wife, and we started hanging out. And she dumped her abusive ass boyfriend at the time, and yeah, she was my introduction to the whole scene.
Okay, yeah, that makes a bit more sense.
And I don't know, my first night out there, it was something new to me, and before I knew it, I was dressing up all gothed out the next week.
Oh, I have to answer something for gas. What's an ice storm? Well, let's see. We'll start simple. Ice is what happens when water gets cold. I know that you may not be familiar with it because you live in California, but it happens.
Wow, you're just going full dick mode here.
Considering who Gas Giant is, they're used to it.
So yeah, an ice storm is kind of like rain, but it's basically it's just cold enough that it basically
didn't
it
explain
lands and
that,
it just
did I?
freezes on everything.
I didn't explain who Gas Giant was, did I?
No, I know who Gas Giant is. You yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, see, then you know why I'm being a dick.
Yeah.
That's just how we talk to each other.
I mean, Gas Giant's been kind of hanging out with the Pirates crew since our first year.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. When Pirates started, like, what? 2/3 of us? No, 3/4 of us were all in the same place.
No, 3/5.
True. I always tend to cut out one of us.
I don't know if
wonder
you're
why.
I mean you're either forgetting Ras or you're forgetting gamers.
It's gamers. It's always gamers.
That's not surprising. Or gamers.
Okay, no, this time it is not me intentionally being a dick. It's just that he's never around, so I tend to forget him.
And we will not have a night tonight, unfortunately.
Hmm?
Okay. No night.
Night, no.
Mm.
Too many dogs.
I don't know
I did
why
it too.
I keep trying.
I did it too. The name is close enough that
Yeah,
I said Nightkin.
Like no. She is not a super mutant.
Are we sure about that?
Even I have to say, her latest video she's put out, she's going for the look.
One of these
There's a
days
lot
you'll
of
be able to
fallout
clap
going
back without the chat delay. I mean, you can use the live stream chat in the Discord if you're part of it.
Yeah, but there's still going to be a delay.
Well, yeah, but we'll get the Discord notification before it pops up on stream.
Actually, I don't think so. Well, I mean,
I
before
could test it out real quick.
because it's going to pop up for us the same, or at least it will for me, because I'm actually like looking at the I have the live chat up.
Yeah, I've got live chat and I've got the Discord up.
So yeah, I mean,
your live chat is going to be faster because it's going through your OBS quicker. So,
but it's gonna go, but it still has to be sent out to YouTube and then sent out to Gas Giant. So whatever we say in response is going to be delayed.
well, maybe one day I'll invite them into voice on my channel and we'll have fun.
But that'll be good. There we go. All right.
So where are we starting tonight?
I don't know. That's a good question, I guess. I mean,
Well, I did start notes for this particular topic.
okay.
And me and Rask actually had the exact same idea. The movie is what made me think of it, but Rask thought of the movie the moment I said Lost Media, which was the failed 1970s Dune adaptation.
Right.
Have you ever heard of this?
I have.
I want to find one of these film books that still exists, and I would love to make this film. We'd have to recast it, but I would love to make it.
A lot of people like to make AI images of it. What could have been.
I mean, we don't need AI images. They have the images. The whole thing is just the casting was insane. So let me run down the notes to catch up anybody who may be in the gray of what this is. The 1970s Dune adaptation was, I believe it was supposed to be out sometime around 73, 74. And it was supposed to be directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky, a Chilean-French psychedelic filmmaker. The cast included Udo Kier, Amanda Lear, Orson Welles, Gloria Swanson, David Carradine, Mick Jagger, and Salvador Dali. The soundtrack would be either Tangerine Dream or Pink Floyd, and the visuals were split between an artist known as Mobius and H.R. Geiger. That description alone made me just have a fever dream trying to imagine what the movie would have been like.
Yes, it would have been. Honestly, it sounds visually glorious right now.
You want even better? You know how Salvador Dali is now being revealed to be a complete jackass? Someone was asking me, they were wondering, would he be a notorious diva to work with on film? Apparently, there's a documentary. This is how most people have found out about it now. Documentary from 2013 called Jodorowsky's Dune that revealed that Salvador Dali was supposed to play the Emperor, and he claimed he wanted to be the highest paid actor in Hollywood history, so he asked for $100,000 per hour for the movie. Jodorowsky accepted it, but then reduced the Emperor's scene so that Dali only had 1 hour, with the rest of his lines being spoken by a robotic lookalike. Dali then accepted those terms on the condition that A, the plastic lookalike was donated to his museum, and B, the Emperor's throne was to be a giant toilet made up of 2 intersected dolphins.
When crazy meets crazy, game recognizes game.
Basically, you get a psychedelic filmmaker in Salvador Dali, and it's which one of us can out-weird the other.
Yoko Ono enters that room and goes, "Yeah, fuck this."
I'm out. What were you saying there, Ollamh?
I don't remember now.
Okay, well, here's the 3 last facts I could find about this. 1, Frank Herbert traveled to Europe in 1976. So, yeah, it wouldn't have been in 73. It would have been somewhere in the 80s, around the time Lynch's came out. But traveled to Europe in 1976 to find that of the $9.5 million budget laid out for pre-production, $2 million of it had already been spent. And then that Jodorowsky's script would have resulted in a 14-hour film. Now, let's see, it says...
Which is part of the reason Lynch's film is rumored to be 6 hours long in an uncut version.
Yeah, and it says after 2.5 years of development, the project ultimately stalled for financial reasons, since of the $15 million total budget, $5 million just went missing, with no explanation. Then Jodorowsky refused to cut any time from the film. He wanted the full 14-hour cut.
It would have been a great miniseries.
I mean, with that cast and that art direction, I would have sat in 14 hours in a theater.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I do remember most about it was like, yeah, it was supposed to be like this horrendously long, just, oh no, we are not cutting anything type of project.
Yeah. And then it says, the script, extensive storyboards, and concept art were all sent to major film studios, and then argued that these influenced and inspired later film productions, including Star Wars, the Alien series, Flash Gordon, Terminator, and Fifth Element. In particular, the team for the special effects of O'Bannon, Foss, Geiger, and Giraud went on to collaborate on Alien. So even though this film didn't get made, it left an impact.
Yeah.
There is, over in FF14, So, Caden, you're familiar with this one. A raid
Mhm.
called the Void Ark.
God, I hate the Void Ark.
Visually, I love the Void Ark.
Visually, I love it.
Yeah.
And I do love Diablos unconditionally. I just hate the raid.
It's a weird thing because when you go through the Void Ark, you can get what you need to make a coffin that has that Geiger aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, my character in FF sleeps in one of these coffins.
I don't think we have anything to add. That was just what we wanted to point out.
No, I can make this worse. It does not match the coffin I own in real life.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah, if those people who've watched the commercials for Over the Edge have likely seen at least 2 commercials feature the coffin.
I have not watched any of them, but it just doesn't surprise me when you say you own a coffin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Hang on, I've accidentally gone full 60s Batman with my camera.
So now we're going Robert Pattinson, the Batman, to fix it?
Somewhere in the middle, you get either Michael Keaton or Christian Bale. Either way, I'm happy.
I mean, as long as we don't get into the fucking
Bat
Schumacher territory.
Bat nipples.
Bat nipples we're okay with. If we see bat ass, we're gonna have to complain.
Bat ass. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I blame you for this, Caden.
Blame me all you want. This is my job, is to create the chaos. So I don't know if Gamers is joining us tonight, but if he's listening, I did find one that I wanted to know if he knew about, but also if none of us knew about it, how many of us is going to break?
Oh,
The Nintendo PlayStation.
I remember this thing, actually. It was supposed to be a CD attachment, at least at first. Seventh Guest was going to be one of the debut titles, correct?
Mhm.
God. Yeah, this thing featured briefly, I want to say, in Electronic Gaming Monthly and Nintendo Power.
It was the 1988 collaboration between Sony and Nintendo. It was supposed to play both the Super Famicom cartridges and Sony's, at the time, new Super Disc CD system.
The CDI.
And then the story goes that when they made an early unveil at a tech conference, the Nintendo rep said that Philips was making the CD and not Sony, so Sony pulled out. It was just like, nah, fuck you. You disrespected us. We are now going to make this on our own, and we are going to release it to crush you. And thus began the console wars.
And they were always a mixed bag, weren't they? I mean, soon Nintendo lost their exclusivity of things like, well, they'd already lost exclusivity on Castlevania. The Genesis managed to get Castlevania Bloodlines. Final Fantasy as a series had been Nintendo exclusive, but then suddenly FF7. Hello, PS1.
Mm-hmm. But still, at the time, Nintendo still managed to basically hold their own because, sure, the Super NES was starting to decline because, you know, we had better graphics and such, but then came the Nintendo 64.
Which had some good games. Some.
It had amazing games.
yeah.
Mario, Zelda, GoldenEye,
Perfect Dark.
Star Wars Shadow of the Empire.
Donkey Kong Country. What? DK64 was a great game, no matter what you say.
You know, I never got to try Star Fox 64. Was that any good?
That was hilariously good and bad, depending on how you played. Everyone hated Slippy because he was fucking annoying. Do a barrel roll became a meme for a reason. And then depending on if you sucked ass, you only ever played the easy route. And then when you played the hard route, you asked yourself, why did I ever play the hard route?
Then there's what were the great ones for the PS1? I mean, Final Fantasy is the one we all think of. I would say a lot of the ones that were great on PS1, which ones were exclusives? Because a lot ported over to the Sega Saturn and such.
Well, see, this is where we get into fun shit, because if I look up PS1 exclusive, I'm likely to get that weird flip console one.
And some of them did eventually make their way over after having been exclusives. I mean, my copy of Final Fantasy VII was for PC.
Okay, let's see. Gas Giant is saying Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Right. Which still, you
let me-
can get that one for Droid. You can't get it for PC.
Let me close my free Blender pose models Google search.
Olive, say hi to everyone. Everyone say
Hi,
hi to Olive.
Olive.
You are more popular than me.
You know, for some reason, I feel like I'm sometimes the only person that remembers that PS1 used to refer to the PlayStation with the built-in screen.
I thought that was the PS Vita.
No. That was a whole way down the generation.
Okay. Also,
Okay, let's see.
Dreamcast.
Holy crap, there are games. Although hilariously, Final Fantasy VII is not on this list, so this may not be the right.
It didn't remain an exclusive, so we'll have to take that into account. But it was one for a while. I don't think a PC port came out until 2000.
Yeah, let's see. We have 007 Racing. I really hope that's not what I think it is. Oh, yeah, we have like half the Army Men games before Nintendo got it back.
That's not terribly surprising.
How did Blaster Master get to be a PlayStation exclusive?
Wasn't it a remake of it?
Let
Network, but I think you can get it for PC now, remastered again.
me see.
I only ever played the 8-bit version, and that was as a rental from my local Broadway Video in Mattoon.
It was. This is Blaster Master Blasting Again, the 5th title in the Blaster Master series.
Most of which we never see over here. I mean, again, I've only ever played the first, and I haven't picked up the others on Steam or anything. And I really have no excuse here.
Yeah, I only ever played the one that came out on Nintendo. Let's see. Dexter's Lab. Devil Dice. I remember Devil Dice. I still have it somewhere.
A quick note, I feel I should mention that the AVGN just did a giant Blaster Master video. So,
Oh, right. We had 2 exclusive Duke Nukem games for PlayStation. Land of the Babes and Time to Kill.
do you remember when it was basically the same thing as Commander Keen, but reskinned with a Schwarzenegger clone?
Yeah, I remember when Doom acknowledged it was pretty much the same thing as Commander Keen. To the point where they were like, oh yeah, by the way, they're all related.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like after a while they're just like, yeah. By the way, yeah, everybody here is related.
So hold on, let me see if I can remember the canon now. It's Commander Keen is the grandfather. No,
I can't. Are you sure it's
Blazkowicz is the grandfather.
Yeah, Blazkowicz.
Then comes Commander Keen, and then somewhere down the line we end up in Doom.
Yeah, because
And the Slayer.
Doom is the
Furthest out.
yeah, Doom is the furthest out, but it's also that is like Commander Keen's grandson or great grandson.
Yeah. But then also, like, I was laughing that they're like, yeah, he's a descendant of Blazkowicz. I was like, really? You're telling me that BJ Blazkowicz and the Doom guy are just going to be like, oh, hey, we're family.
Yep.
Okay, to be fair, one rips off the heads of demons and the other one ripped off the head of Hitler. I mean, I think I
Mecha Hitler.
Yeah. It was Mecha Hitler, not just Hitler.
Well,
Yeah,
they redid the game recently, and you get to watch him make Hitler piss himself.
If they ever met, I feel like that would be their talking point, is Mecha Hitler would come out and BJ would be like, "Oh my god, don't worry, don't be scared." And Doomslayer would be like, "That's just a mancubus. I fight that like every Tuesday." Would you like to see what I fight?
I mean, Doom Guy is very. I hated Doom 3.
Everyone hated Doom 3.
It was.
Doom 3 hated Doom 3.
You pick up the item, the lights go out. That is literally how the whole game was playing.
Yes, well, don't forget that Doom 3 was the first game that had a remaster simply to put a flashlight in the game.
Did they solve the logistical problem of tying a flashlight to the end of your gun?
No, they instead went with the why didn't we put it on his chest the entire time?
Yeah.
That was it. That's all they did. They're like, oh yeah, here's the remaster. We took a flashlight, we put it on the battle harness that you were wearing the entire time and could have put anything on. We don't know why we didn't do this in the first place.
That game just had so many problems.
And then came Doom 2016, where we were like, hey, he's been in hell for over 20 years. How's his armor doing? His armor's fine.
Well, yeah, because he is the Doomslayer. He is like this mythical creature now.
Yeah, now, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we didn't know the backstory then. It was like, how is his armor fine when it's been in hell for 20 years? And like, well, because fuck you, he's a god now, that's why.
Pretty much, yep.
Hinshu Stealth Assassins. I remember hearing about that one. Okay, let's see. What other stuff have I pulled up? You brought up Star Fox.
And I've only ever played the Super Nintendo Star Fox 1.
Have you ever heard of Dinosaur Planet?
Should I have?
So Dinosaur Planet was a game that they were originally going to release back on, I believe, the 64. And then they wanted to port it over to GameCube and make it this big thing. This is going to be the GameCube's, anchor game, along with Zelda and all that. And then Rare had a problem. Namely that the GameCube launch was coming up really, really fast. And they were about to be bought out by Microsoft. So they dropped the game, retooled it, and then released it as Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah, some of these things, it's like, hey, there's kind of a reason you didn't go in for some of this stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
This reminds me of something. You've both heard me lament Bloodlines 2 many a time.
Uh-huh.
So it's been retooled extensively. The original development team basically... So the original plot line, you're going to play a thin-blooded vampire, was scrapped. Completely. You're now playing an elder who's woken up. The original gameplay didn't look bad, and I liked some of the concepts I was seeing. But I see here, it's basically going to be a completely different game.
Yeah, that's basically what happened with this one.
Meanwhile, you've got people, doing mods for, turning Skyrim into Vampire Redemption.
Yeah.
Improvement and complete reskins for the original Bloodlines.
So here's the fun part about this game is the way they found it. It was a complete accident, and it wasn't even the company that released it. The company didn't remember that they had the originals. Rare never even mentioned that this game was going to be worked on. what happened was apparently they had released a few alpha builds for playtesting, and they lost track of them. So a gamer was running through his garage or basement, came across an unmarked ROM, put it in, got the code, and found the alpha for Dinosaur Planet. So literally the only reason we even have what we do of this game and know that it became Star Fox Adventures is because of ROM hacks.
Bloody hell.
So now what people are trying to do is they're trying to find that ROM and all the originals that they can, and they're trying to remake the game.
Good luck.
Well, apparently the alpha was in a pretty almost finished state. They have the original story, they have almost all the cutscenes, they have a bunch of gameplay. It's just they have to put it all together and get the coding right and make sure everything is stable. And of course, there's not going to be any voice acting.
You're not going to have voice acting. What's the point?
I'm sure somebody out there will be like, hey, if you want voice acting, I'll do it.
You know, I'm almost tempted to say things that shouldn't have been made. Could be an interesting tangent, but mostly in the form of remakes.
Well, here's one. This doesn't fit with the topic, but this did come up earlier. Was that so we were talking about Fallout, and then we all mentioned Fallout 5, and I was like, wait, isn't Fallout 5 supposed to take place in like London? And then I remember that Fallout London has been made for both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 as total mods.
Yeah.
That basically just retool the game. So it's like, so Fallout London's been a thing. So is Bethesda just stealing the idea, or are they just like, you know what, you guys keep making it, so we're just going to make an official one?
I don't think Bethesda knows what it's going to be. I don't think they have any clue as to what they're wanting to do with it.
I mean, on the one hand, going to London could be interesting, at least getting us out of America, but at the same time, kind of kills the vibe of Fallout.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you can't have, you know, Vault-Tec wasn't an international company, per se.
Yeah, no. Have you played any of 4?
I have, yeah.
Have you played it recently?
Kind of.
Me, little bits, not recently.
Okay, so first off, Fallout London is apparently an unstable, buggy mess now, because Bethesda rolled out a huge Halloween update, which apparently broke like 60% of their code.
Yes, that I have heard that. The difference is that it depends on where you have the game.
Yeah.
If you have it on Good Old Games, it's actually stable.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I found a piece. I heard my brother talking about it, and he was saying there's this Creation Club content called Speak of the Devil, and he loves that it gives you this cool armor and everything, and you get to be the Black Devil. I was like, what the hell is this? I've never heard of this. Turns out it was a Creation Club content, and then the person who made it actually got hired by Bethesda. So they actually patched the game to make it official. So everything in that content mod is now canon. Which on the one hand, that's fucking amazing. On the other, it kind of irks me because the lore behind the Black Devil is that he's a former Enclave soldier who escaped to the Commonwealth and found a comic book called The Black Devil, which is an extremely patriotic pulp comic where the Black Devil's apparently is a police janitor who, when he hears America the Beautiful and the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and one more song, I can't remember what it is. Oh, Stars and Stripes Forever. He suddenly knows that he's needed, and he'll find wherever it's transmitting from and show up to serve justice and assist whoever is in need of trouble or in need of assistance. So the Enclave soldier takes his armor because, conveniently, when he was in the Enclave, he was in a section named The Devil's Hand, so his armor is already devil-themed, and he becomes the literal Black Devil. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Bit heavy on the patriotism, but kind of cool. Until I learned and